Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Leanna and this is Paul. Paul is here today to answer some of the eBay questions that were given to me in the comments in the videos or over on Instagram, things that people have been asking for a while now. And he is my go-to eBay guy because, Paul, how long have you been selling on eBay?
I've been selling on eBay 5 or 6 years, the last 3.5 or so full-time.
Okay, and we have an eBay store, so you know that we're listing a lot, and I say we very lightly because I've only just started listing on the eBay store. But how long have we had our store?
We've had the store about 3.5 years.
So he has some experience, so I thought he was a good guy to go to. He is who I ask when I am like on this side of the computer and he's over there, and I pop my head up and go, what about this? And what about this? So anyway, first question. First of all, thank you very much to everybody. First question. If you were just starting out, what 5 things would you be on the lookout for to list?
The sort of things I'd be on the lookout for would be small, easy to pack, easy to ship items. Things like graphic t-shirts, baseball hats. Right now, because we're heading into Halloween and we're heading into Christmas ornaments, Halloween decorations, Halloween costumes, things like that. They can go in a poly mailer, they can go in a small box. Current event type stuff, up and coming movies, old video games, especially from like the Commodore 64 era, this type of thing. Stuff that's easy to find information on, easy to get comparable prices on, easy to ship, easy to pack. Yeah. Sounds
good to me. How many listings are we allowed on eBay when we first start out?
Well, if the starter store, I believe you get 250 free listings, although they may throttle you back on how many they actually allow you to list at any one time. A lot of people, they're stuck at 5 until they start getting a bit of a reputation, they start getting sales. But you can get good success by contacting eBay and asking them to bump up your listings, especially if you've shown you've got good listings and you've already sold a couple items. Yeah. They're usually willing to, bump you up.
Okay. Should the focus be on items with a high sell-through rate or to establish your reputation on eBay, or on high profit items?
No, definitely on a high sell-through rate. Your goal at the beginning is to get the store rolling, is to get it going. High profit items tend to take longer to sell. They attract scammers easily and more quickly. Again, those same items that you're looking for, they're the ones you want to sell. You can look for comps, see how many have sold. If a lot have sold, then it's probably a good idea to pick it up and try to sell it.
Okay. And with a high profit item, chances are you're paying a lot more for it to begin with.
Yes.
So your cost of goods is that much more. So you risk losing that as opposed to being into something for $1 or $2.
Yeah, usually the best thing to do is just look around your house, grab something at random.
He's going to grab my eBay tape.
There it is. eBay tape. And you go onto eBay, you look it up, and you see how much it's selling for, how much it's sold for. It's important to look at the sold comps, not just what the things are selling for, and you go that way. Yeah.
And finding sold comps on eBay is just as easy as it is on Poshmark. You just filter the sold, super easy to do. Does the lack of ratings, which is feedback, deter buyers from purchasing?
It depends on the buyer and what is being sold. I don't believe personally most buyers are that deterred by somebody with no feedback. They're more deterred by somebody who has bad feedback. So what that means is, so it doesn't matter how many items, if you've got people have left 100 feedback and they're all positive, now you've got 100% feedback. If half of those people left bad feedback, so negative feedback, now you've got 50% feedback, which is really, 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 really bad. That's what people are looking for. They're looking for more of that feedback score. They're looking for good, clean looking, professional looking, coherent listings. Yep. And if they want that item, things like price, shipping cost, the feedback, a lot of that stuff won't even matter. Right.
So with that, sort of keeping that in mind, I know that there is a school of thought out there that will recommend to people to get their family and friends to buy cheap items from their eBay listings and to leave feedback. Now, does eBay frown upon that? Is it ethical with them, or, you know, would you get your account in trouble if you do that?
No, I don't think eBay really cares about that as long as they're making money. But in my opinion, it doesn't help you because it's not teaching you how to be a seller on the eBay or any platform for that matter. If somebody's spoon feeding you, you're being spoon fed. You're not learning anything. You need to learn the platform.
Well, I think you still you can learn it if you take that opportunity. You don't treat it as just being spoon fed.
Right.
You treat it as the opportunity to learn as well.
Yeah, the one good thing, that's true. The one good thing it does, it'll, you know, as long as you actually ship the items and send the items, get paid for the items. If you're just like saying, oh, here you go, that's not helping you.
No.
At least send it to relatives who live in a different part of the country or a different province, you know, a different city. So you're learning how to pack, you're learning how to ship, you're learning how the system works. If you're doing it that way, yeah, it can be beneficial, and eBay's not going to care as long as you're not buying it from yourself. That doesn't work.
Okay. I don't know what question number we're on, but this is the next question. We're going to talk about returns. You can put free returns, no returns, or buyer pays returns on your items. What do we do, and what is sort of recommended, or does it matter?
We accept returns for 30 days with the buyer paying for the shipping to come back. So what this means, if somebody receives, you know, a shirt and they just don't like the color, it doesn't quite fit them the way they thought, even though all the information in the listing was correct, they just don't like it, we generally accept the return, and the customer's got 30 days from the time that they receive the item to choose to return it or not. But they pay for the shipping back to us. We don't pay for the shipping back.
Right.
On top of that, when we get the item back, we can choose to refund them in full, and with the shipping or without the shipping that we originally sent it to. So if we paid $10 for the shipping and they paid us $10, we don't have to return that $10 unless we feel we want to, unless you have free returns. Free returns just means exactly that. They can return it for any reason they want. They just initiate a return. eBay generates a label, or you send them a label if you don't use eBay as your shipping source, and when it comes back, you refund them.
Okay. And there is no such thing as no returns, because if you happen to send out something that is not as described, an INAD, eBay will still make you return it, or have the buyer return it if it's proven that you misled them or something.
Yeah, if you sold them a black shirt, you sent them a white shirt, then that's all on you as the seller. You made the mistake. Yep. The buyer should have no reason to have anxiety about sending it back. It should just be automatic on the seller's part. If the seller makes a mistake, just own up to it, take it back. Or if it's going to cost too much to send it back, you have the choice of just to refund them, let them keep the item if they wish.
Yep.
Or if you wish them to keep it.
Okay, the next one is the big one. I think it's the big one. We list on eBay Canada, but we list mostly on eBay US or ebay.com.
Right.
Why do we do that? What's the benefits to listing only on, not only, but mainly on ebay.com?
Well, I find it a little easier, particularly with the shipping, because we use a cross-border shipper, so we can buy United States Postal Service labels, which makes it way cheaper for us, because we use the cross-border shippers, Chit Chats and Stallion Express, which, you know, you've talked about them on the channel before in other videos. You need to have them in your area, otherwise you've got to ship stuff to them. The other thing is too, when we list on .com, everybody who is looking on .com will see our items before they would if we were on .ca. So if you're listing on .ca, people across the world can still see the items, but they may be suppressed and way down there rather than on .com, if that makes sense.
So if you list on .ca,
right,
and you have somebody in the United States looking on ebay.com, they can still see our listings, but they will be buried under all the other .com listings above them.
Right. And, you know, and they may filter out Canada. They may, you know, I'm not quite sure how that works, and whatever country platform you're on, the person sees, as far as I know, the dollar amount or the pound amount or whatever in the country's currency they're on. So, and the other thing too is, what I've noticed is if I'm selling something on .ca and I price it at $25 Canadian, I can put that same item on .com and price it at $25 US, because that's the currency it'll be in, and it'll still sell, which is kind of really weird to me. It wouldn't sell on .ca for 25 bucks Canadian, but it's sold on .com, and that might be just a result of having a much broader, larger audience.
A larger audience, yeah. Okay. Okay, so last question, and it's kind of a weird question. It's not a newbie question necessarily, but why would eBay refund a buyer and not require the item to be returned?
As far as I know, there's only 2 reasons that happens. One, if the seller had something in their whole setup and that's to do with the returns that they don't require it to be sent back. That could be one reason. The other reason is usually the buyer doesn't respond in time, or sorry, the seller doesn't respond in time to eBay's requirements. So they get the customer's not happy with the, whatever it is, because it was broken or the wrong color, so they send a request to return. The seller gets like 3 days to respond. If they don't respond in those 3 days, eBay's just going to close the case, go against the seller, and refund the buyer. The buyer gets to keep it. Now sometimes the seller just didn't see the email that eBay sent, but as far as I know, eBay does not just willy-nilly, for no reason, just refund customers and just give them a refund without having to return the item. They always give the buyer a chance. The buyer might not see that message because they didn't check in time, or because maybe they were away for the weekend, or whatever.
The seller.
It's the seller, yeah. Thank you. And
yeah, I mean, it happens, but
in all the years I've been selling, I've only had 3 or 4 official returns.
Knock on wood.
Yeah, and one of them, the person sent it back and they admitted, oh yeah, it was just not what I thought it was. They paid for it. And actually two of them were like that, and one, the person just never ended up sending it back because they realized, it's going to cost me 12 bucks to ship it back to Canada.
Yeah.
So it wasn't worth it for them, so they just never bothered.
Yeah. So that question is really hard to answer because we don't know the whole details. It was just, kind of a question. It wasn't, there's no background to it, so keep that in mind. Okay?
Yep.
All right, so that's the questions that we have. If you have any more questions, leave them down below in the comments, and Paul is going to try his best to answer them. Unfortunately, you're not Paul on YouTube, though. You're Horad.
Horad.
So if you have some weird horrid guy answering your question, it's Paul. Okay, yeah. Just so you know.
Now, I would like to say one piece of advice is for new sellers on any platform, whether it's eBay, Poshmark, Etsy, Vinted, whatever it is. Before you sell your first thing, before you list your first thing, do some research, get a taste of how things work on the platform. They all have help sections. Utilize those help sections, ask the questions, check YouTube videos for, how do I pack a fragile item? Don't get ahead of yourself. Keep it simple at first and ramp your way up, and your business will be stronger because you'll be a better seller.
Yes, I agree. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, honey, for taking the time.
No problem.
Okay, that is it, guys. Sorry about that. That is it. I hope everybody has a fantastic weekend. Thumbs up if you like this content. If you are not subscribed, please subscribe. I upload Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and that is it. We'll see you guys on Monday. Bye.
Bye.
And I can't see. That was